Welcome to episode 9 of the Success Show podcast, where we dive deep into the stories and expertise of extraordinary individuals shaping the landscape of their respective fields. Today's episode was with a music artist and a DJ who goes by the name of Kratex. He basically produces Marathi house music, which is something I found really unique. So I thought, why not get him on the show? And his tracks have been catching a lot of trajectory recently. So I thought, why not? So, in this episode, we spoke about a variety of topics ranging from his huge international success to one of his songs being signed to Records, which is the global record house for EDM music, and much more. So, stay tuned. Before you start watching, please don't forget to like and share this video as well as subscribe to this channel and the Ruhaan Mathreja Shorts channel. Follow me on Instagram at ruhaan.mathreja and at the Success Show Podcast. Once again, you're watching the Success Show Podcast. Enjoy. Good evening. Thank you so much for being on the show. I'm really honored to have you on my platform finally. How are you doing?
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me. All good, man. Currently, middle of interviews, yes,
Yeah,
things. But yeah,
yeah. Hope all well. How's everything at home? You know.
all good, all good. Like my head keeps on and off for some time because of the traveling. But
Oh,
now currently I'm getting used to it.
yeah,
But yeah, all
yeah.
good. All happens.
I'm glad. So I wanted to start off this podcast by asking you on how you got into the journey of music and especially house techno, and what age did you start, and just a bit about your background on music.
Yeah, so earlier in my school days, I was never fond of like making music in such as such. Like, I was aware about how music is made in the first place. So
Yeah,
it all started when I used to listen to music through my dad's cassettes and all that. Because he passed away like when I was too young, when I was like 9 years old. His music
oh,
was the only thing I could access. And it
hmm.
was a variety of music, like Western pop to Bollywood to bhajan and all that. Like a variety of range to it. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's the one that I started listening to a lot of music. But I never thought that I would make music ever. So in college, I got to know about this track called "Sexy Chick" by David Guetta, and while I was listening to other pop songs, when I heard this song particularly, I thought this is not normal music. This is not like I cannot hear a guitar on it. I cannot hear a keyboard on it or something like a drums on it. This is something else. And then I googled it, what is this? And I had nothing. Okay, this is electronic music. So electronic dance music or whatever people call it. This is the kind of
yeah,
music which is made solely from a computer. Like you don't need like external things to make music. And I've gotten fascinated that okay, there's a type in this world, there's music type in this world which can be completely made through a computer. And I, being a
yeah,
very much tech enthusiast, and I was also doing my computer engineering. So I was like, this sounds really good, and I started learning it by YouTube tutorials. And YouTube wasn't a big thing that time. It was like very few tutorials out there. There were blogs, like EDM
yeah,
blogs. They used to teach how to make electronic music by step. And I started with the software called FL Studio before because that was the most easiest to
yeah,
learn and it's amazing, like the ease of it. But yeah, that's the later part. But while I was making a lot of electronic music, I was more fascinated with the process of it. Like I used to like
yeah,
how you start a song and then you make a song completely. It finishes as a proper song for proper MP3 file, and that still fascinates me today. So this was the time like I understood that okay, and I started listening to other electronic music artists like Hardware, Avicii, Skrillex, and all these people.
yeah,
Developed common friends like that, which are very few during college days. We used to listen to like electronic music.
yeah,
Then yeah, of course, the whole Tomorrowland wave, the whole EDM waves. I was a part of that. generation where I saw when I was in college and I saw these Tomorrowland videos popping up on YouTube, Ultra Music Festival videos. And this was my whole journey, and I started that okay, I can also make this music and I can be like a DJ someday. I never thought that
Yeah.
I would actually like do proper DJing and do shows and all. But at one point after
Mm.
I started my job, I also did my job. I am the product designer. Like I do UI UX design, that I used to do. Now I completely focus on music. So that's what my job was. And I actually love my job. It's not like I used to feel bored about it or something. Even today, I design my own flyers, all my stuff, my merch. It's designing is
That's
that
great.
designer hasn't died. So uh, yeah, I was making music while I was doing this job. Even my bosses, whoever I work with, they're really chill about what I do and used to encourage me to make my music and all. So whenever wasn't feeling like stressed out of my job anytime, but I was growing in my job.
Yeah.
So when you grow, you
Yeah.
have more responsibilities as a job, as a person who is at a higher stage. So that used to just take out time from music. That's why at one point I
Yeah.
decided that okay, this is not working out, and this is like just 4 5 months ago. I have completely left what I did. Before that, I used to like I
That's
still
really
have
good.
my freelance clients and all that. But yeah, that's the whole journey of getting electronic music. I think so. The ease of it and the easy access to it got me into electronic music because you can go on YouTube and learn to make music like you're just a Google away. And you can just start making tracks
Yeah.
just on your computer. That was still and that's still that still fascinates me. Like how can I just like even in my travel journey I just make tracks while I'm traveling and that's
Mhm.
just so amazing.
Yeah. I think I myself I'm a EDM lover, techno lover, house music lover. And that's how I came across hearing your music, even through Instagram Reels, because I think your song really went viral. I want to talk to you
Yeah,
more about that a bit later in this episode. But I wanted to also ask you on how you came up with your name, Kratex, your stage name. What was the history
yeah.
behind that?
So every time people ask me this question, I feel really sad to disappoint them because there's literally no meaning to this. Like
Oh,
I had a different name before, which was similar to some other artist name. So I had to change it to make my releases live on Spotify and these platforms. Because
yeah,
you need a unique name, otherwise that's a clash issue. So I was just
yeah,
jamming. I was like having something from Krunal, which is like Kiara, and like something sounding more cooler, more international, and actually I was happy that it doesn't have any meaning. That's what my goal was to have a name which doesn't have a meaning because I think so when you have
yeah,
a meaning to something then it kind of limits the possibilities what you can do in your career and choose which music because I was very unclear of what kind of music I would make. I was just making whatever was trending. I was making okay, chalo, big room trending. I will make people. Rap is trending. I make rap. This is hip hop is trending. I do hip hop. So that was the thing. And I think having no meaning kind of opened up things to me like, okay, I can do anything. I can try out at least anything.
yeah.
So yeah, that's the only story behind Kratex.
What made you narrow down to house techno music?
So earlier, I used to when I started making music, it was all inspired by popular music, like whatever was popular. Which like if like
Mm,
big room is popular, I used to make big room music. But
exactly.
then I looked upon a lot of I'm like a proper internet curious guy. So I search a lot of things, and I got to know about this thing called ADE, Amsterdam Dance Event, which happens in Amsterdam once in a year, which is the biggest
Okay.
conference of dance music in the
Yeah,
world, which happens, and everyone big in dance music just uh, is there at that point. And
yeah.
I was very curious about the whole Dutch culture. That why is every big DJ a Dutch person? How
Yeah.
is this? This is not a coincidence, right? Like how is like Tiesto and Martin Garrix,
Uh,
Afrojack?
Martin
How are they,
Garrix. Yeah.
everyone? Yeah, how are every one of them? That's like, what is the?
Mhm.
Then I came across ADE. Then I was like, I have to go there. And that time I was doing a job. Used all my savings in like flight ticket. And I bought a return trip ticket to the AD times. And I had no clue what to do next because I had never been on a flight before. This
Yeah.
was my first ever time in a flight, and then directly to Amsterdam. So I was like, I want to go here. Like I took that risk because at that time my family didn't say anything to me, but my friends were like, "This is like kind of stupid. Like, why do you want to go there? Like, you're just spending a lot of money." And some people like, they go there, do things what like are done in Amsterdam and all that. But I wasn't going for either of those things. I was going for,
Yeah.
okay, I want to see what that is. I know I can get information on internet, that's fine. But if I go there, I think many things will clear up in my mind. And that's the time I discovered the depth of the industry of electronic music. It's not, it's like we are 20 years or 30 years behind in terms of what is going on in Europe right now.
Yeah.
So that's what I discovered. And I discovered about the actual roots of house music because I knew house music before, but I didn't know that that is actually how the whole electronic music scene started because of house music in the first place. So
Yeah.
I was in a bookstore which was like dedicated to electronic music history, and there someone suggested me a book called Pump Up the Volume. It's the history of house music and how house music started and all. So
Yeah.
I did find a book actually, but I found the documentary equivalent of that. Like there's a documentary made by the same person who made the, and that's how I discovered like, oh, this is like house music is very huge. And then I discovered these house music classic tracks, out of which the biggest inspiration was "Move Your Body" by Marshall Jefferson, and it's one of the
Yeah.
like house music anthems ever. And I heard that song like for like I don't know 50, 60 times the same day. And I was like, this is actually what I want to do because I really love this music. And that time house music wasn't that much popular. This is like 2019 and talking about. This is the trap was big that time. Trap and dubstep was big. So I was like,
Yeah.
no, I will do house music. I don't know. I don't care if people like it or not. I don't care if it's trending or not. I'll make house music. And since then, I started making house music completely because I personally like it. Like there was no business decision. There's no like, okay, I'll do this, and this people like it. Even though I didn't know how to make house music properly back in time. People think house music is easy. Like they use like claps and like hat and like the same pattern and it becomes house. It's not like that. So I
Yeah.
used initially I thought that okay, this is very easy, I'll make it. But my tracks aren't sounding good at all. But I made a point that I'm making a lot of house music. And then after COVID, like when once COVID happened, I had been to AD also the second time, and then COVID happened. And that was the time I made a lot of house music because at COVID I had two decisions like either do something which gets me money because I was fired from my job. And
Yeah.
then I had, everyone was doing something or the other things to earn money or focus on music, which will earn me money very later on. Not now. So that's the second decision I took because I had some savings which would get me through a year easily. So I was like, instead of focusing too much more money, let's think about a long term money or skill because I believe a simple fundamental of music is the more you make it, the more better you become in it. There's no other shortcut. There's no other knowledge
Yeah.
in the world which will just magically make you amazing producer or you start making hits. That's not gonna happen. More, you have to make it
Yeah.
more. So I used this COVID time and like made a track every day for like 2 months straight. And every day, like whether the track is bad or good, I don't care. I just make it. And this time I felt in love with house music even more because I was liking the process of it. I didn't put any of the tracks out. Only few of them were out on my SoundCloud. That was a private link
Mm.
to send it to like demos to labels. That's what. I used to make music for. And during COVID, a guy called Chris Lake, he's one of my favorite house music producers. He did a streaming session for like producers who can stream them tracks and he will review them. And I sent him a couple of my tracks for first week, second week, but he saw it in the seventh or eighth week. But I used to like regularly on all the stream, I used to send tracks. And that
Yeah.
time, the way he reacted to my tracks was amazing. Like I even screen recorded that whole thing, and I see it again till today. Because he said,
Yeah.
and he's the only one who said me this, that you have a sound right now. You have your own sound. And I didn't
Yeah.
even knew I have a sound. Like I was just making music for myself. And he said, no,
Yeah.
you have your sound. You can work on it, and one day people will say, if you work more on it, people will say this is a Kratex track. That's what he said to me that time. And that just hit me hard because a guy like Chris Lake, he was like a very big guy in the house music scene. I was telling you that. So my confidence just rose a lot. Like, okay, whatever I'm making is not
Yeah.
stupid. Someone who is
Mm.
very credible is liking it. And the same thing happened with Afrojack. Like I sent him streams. On his streams I used to send him tracks. He also said that your tracks
Mm.
are great and all that. And he also connected with an artist who we knew from Miami, Black Phoenix, and we made a track and
Mm.
we released it on a very big house music label. So at this point,
That's
this just
great.
gave me additional confidence that okay, whatever I am making is can be released and can be a commercial thing out of it. So I
Yeah.
started digging more in house music. So I invested in a lot of producer feedback circles, which is not common here, but it's very common in US. So there are like these circles, feedback circles, which they have
Yeah.
like slots for artists where they come in and they review the demos properly. Like they take a demo and they properly go in Ableton and give a
Give you
very
feedback.
detailed feedback, very detailed feedback.
Mm.
I did that for
Yeah.
5 to 6 months. I invested in that. This is paid that because they want to just separate out good producers and time pass producers. So I did that. I also invested in some paid courses. One was by Luca Proteus. He's one of the biggest mix engineers in the industry right now. Not just dance music, it's like
Yeah.
overall Western music, if you see. And I invested in his, it was not even a course, it was like a subscription service where he used to upload his premium videos, like premium tutorial videos. And I saw that, and many of his tricks I still use to date, till date. It was that helpful for me. It was like $5 to $10 a month. I did for 3 months, and it
Yeah.
gave me so much knowledge about music in general. And that's where I understood that this is how a good investment is. Like you invest in yourself in these things.
Yeah.
And I started doing this a lot. So I understood, okay, then because see, if I would have got this for free, I wouldn't have any value for that. I like if you get something for free, you will
Yeah.
rarely see it. But if you pay for something,
But because you paid for it, you. Yeah.
yeah, you'll absorb every tiny detail of whatever you're seeing on your screen. So and that was the time in COVID where everyone was selling courses. This was a very common thing. So I did these courses and
Mm.
gained more knowledge because I understood what are my weaknesses right now. And my biggest weakness was my mixing quality, the mixing and mastering stuff, which is more technical in making music. It's not creative thing. It's something you'll have to master by
Yeah.
listening to more and more and listening to more. So I understood that, and yeah, since then it was I since then I'm making house music and not techno music. The core of it is like just
I mean,
because I love
that's.
it.
Yeah, I know. I can, I mean, that's a really comprehensive understanding on why you started it. And I really enjoyed, listening to you on that because that journey is something that's really special of what genre to choose. Even, like, for example, if someone's writing a book, what themes to include and etc. So I really, really enjoyed listening to you on that. Can you walk me through the process of, how you create a track, how much it costs, and things like that?
Uh, Cost wise, it seems very direct. It costs me anything. Like it can cost. If we can add up the cost of like the DAW I use is Ableton, which has a price, or maybe a specific plugin which I bought which has a price. That are the only
Yeah.
things. It's like one-time fees. But rest, it's nothing. Like I said, it's just your computer in front of you. Right now,
Yeah.
my process has evolved a lot. Like if I compare myself a year ago, and even compare if I compare myself a year ago before that. So right now, my process is if I'm making house track, I start with a very basic template which doesn't generate any sound, but it doesn't have anything. It's just everything's grouped properly. Everything's grouped. Side chains are grouped properly. Everything's grouped. So I don't have to do these basic things again and again. Because I know that I'm going to add a side chain over here. I know I'm going to add a side chain over here. I know all these sounds are going to
Yeah.
be processed together. So these things are
Mm.
sorted first. And once I start making it, I make sure that I'm making a house track first. Even though it's a remix, even though it's an original, doesn't matter. I start with the bass line, I start with the kick. I make sure that the kick and the bass line itself is danceable without anything. So my 90% of my job is done over there. Because house music is all about that house feeling. You have to feel the
Yeah.
house music. And then I start with the drums, add a couple of drums. Then I make sure, okay, is this part, just the drums, kick and bass, is just this danceable or not? If it is not, I don't proceed further. It
You
has to
start
be
again.
danceable in that. Yeah. I'll start again, I'll just
Yeah.
scrap it or just I'll remove the elements that are not making it danceable. So I do that. Sometimes I take a bit of extra care. If I'm making a remix, I check like if I'm doing like this track's remix. I see what's the key of it. So I make sure that if I'm using, all the tonal elements are in the same key, like the bass line or maybe a percussion which has a tonal element to it, has to
Yeah.
be somewhat in the same key. It's okay to be a bit of off key, but mostly it has to be same. That's an extra thing I do for making remixes. For normal track, I'll just make a normal beat. So that's how I
Got it.
started that. And then it just builds on by adding elements on top of it. If it's a remix, I'd add a vocal. And I see, okay, what's the part? What can I add this drop? And this is all natural. Like there's no process to this. Sometimes
Yeah.
I will just end up not adding something which I add in most of my tracks. And sometimes I end up making something so unique which I haven't made in any tracks. So this, I just let my brain decide what to do. And one of my goals is just whatever I make has to make me feel dance first. Because
Yeah.
I am not a dancer and not an extrovert. So
It has to excite
if
you
it makes,
first.
yeah, if it's exciting and introvert like me, then I think so it can make anyone feel dance. So I am my
Yeah.
first audience. It has to bypass me first. If it is not liked by me, sorry, then it's either deleted or either it will be sent to someone who can maybe collaborate with me on the tracks. But 99%
Hmm.
of the time, it has to be my approval, my parents' approval to the. And yeah, then
Yeah.
as I said, the track finishes. It takes me roughly like 3 to 4 hours to finish a basic idea of the track, which is like 90% of the track. And the rest of the
Yeah.
composition, I just take some time. Earlier, I used to finish like a track in 2 hours, 3 hours, in between. But I think so. I take some time to think what has to be removed. So
Yeah.
if I make something, I take some time, 2 3 hours, I just chill something, and if I listen to it again, I come back with the knowledge that what has to be removed, not what has to be added. I remove
Yeah.
things, even if I worked on it like an hour long. When if that sound is the best in solo, if that just doesn't feel right, I just remove it. So
Yeah. I think
that's what I've
it's
done
like,
right now.
yeah, I think what you said about, you being your first audience, it has to appeal to you, and then, that's when you go ahead with the track. So I could
Yeah,
understand, get a feeling about how it is to make a track in your eyes, especially. So, in the start of this podcast, I spoke about your track that went viral, Taamdi Chaamdi. So, can you tell me a bit about it? Because, it's the first Marathi house track to be signed on Spinnin Records. So, congratulations on that, firstly. And can you just tell me a bit about it and how the journey started and how you feel about, it being on Spinnin Records?
Oh yeah. So being on Spinning is like uh, everyone can understand. It's like every producer's dream, right?
Yeah.
Like a record label like Spinning. But yeah, it wasn't made ever for Spinning. Neither it wasn't. It wasn't even made for international consumption at all. It was
Yeah.
just made by fluke. Like I wanted to send a beat to someone, and I that person didn't respond. So I sent that beat to Shreyas. Said that okay, you make something. Let's all of three collaborate on us. Shreyas sent me something which was sounding like a full track, and I was like, let's go. It's done. And this was
Yeah.
done in like 2 days.
Oh.
We never thought why we are making the track in the first place. We're just making it, and I just loved the final output. I was like, this is done. Like I don't have to do anything more. And that's what I think so makes the track very good is we didn't mess around with it so much at all. It was just
Yeah.
made
Simplicity.
right away. It
Yeah.
was very simple. And I didn't even pitch it to any labels first. I released it on my own label, in-house,
Hmm.
because I
I'm
thought that
house.
no
Yeah.
one would take this track, yeah, because it sounds very different. Just, even if I send it to like house labels, this is like Marathi, they won't take it and all that. That's what I was feeling. But I was like, let's release it on our own. And then it just started picking up slowly and slowly. Like someone
Hmm.
made a reel, some person added on stories. Not big movements, but like smaller. Yeah, someone is using it. People are liking it. Shreyas used to play it in shows. It used to be a banger. I used to play in my shows. It used to be a banger. We saw a great reaction, and that's why we decided to release it. And then we released it. Then also,
Yeah.
ऐसा नहीं हुआ कि it got like viral the next day. It was quite like having small थोड़ा थोड़ा views आ रहा है, people are sending us texts. That was happening. I did very minimal
Hmm.
marketing on it. Like it was like 0 rupees marketing, nothing. I mean, one reel, just one album art, a couple of posts. I posted on all my socials. People loved it from there. But I think so. It's the people who shared the track initially and like made reels on it. Were very that was very special because at that point the track wasn't popular. These people made the reels and you know when something is not popular. So that's where
Yeah.
actually the audience plays a huge part in this, like sharing the track and also like the simplicity of the catchiness of the lyrics written by Shreyas. Everything is just so good together, and we were just like, okay, we are happy with whatever we are having. We are like, okay, we're celebrating.
Yeah.
I was getting offers from
Yeah.
other labels, not Spinning, like
Hmm.
big labels, but they were quite slow in their processing. You know, let's have a meeting, this and that. But once I was just checking my Instagram and I saw a message from the owner of Spinning. Like, this is a crazy track. We
Yeah.
would like to give you an offer. I was like, what is this happening? Like, at first I thought it was a fake ID. But
Account or something.
then,
Yeah.
yeah, and I sent it to my manager, and he also thought it was fake. But I was like,
Hmm.
uh, let's check. And then he's a real guy. I sent him my email. He gave me an offer right away. Okay, also, I sent it to my manager. Manager gave a counter. Then he accepted the offer, and just in 2 days, it was a spinning track. Like we are like, okay, now it's not a Marathi or national or a folk track anymore, which people call it regional track. You know these terms, regional track.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we were already working on the video, and that video was supposed to go on my channel. These people have no
Hmm.
clue that what was going to happen to the video. So I had a brief, like the cuts of the
Clip
video
of
and
it.
sent it to Spin. And Spin like, nah, this is crazy. We'll have it on our channel. That's completely fine. And the video
Hmm.
guys are also surprised and, oh, how is this? Like I told them, like, guys, from tomorrow onwards, whatever you're gonna shoot is going to be for an international video. Till today, it was an Indian video, and everyone was shocked. Everyone was saying that, okay, should we like rework on this or something? But I was like, no, keep it as it is. Let's not
Yeah.
rework because it's an international video. Let's keep it what we like, what we were going to make and posting on our channel. Let's do that. And so then everything just connected so well. And I don't know, I just can't, yeah, I can't even. guess where the track is going. Like there are some places I think like how the hell did it land here?
Yeah,
And
I keep getting
that's
reels
just
of,
crazy.
it being played in the US, UK,
Yeah,
Australia. I'm like, whoa, that's really impressive, for a Marathi
yeah,
track that was originally supposed to be a regional track is now playing all over the world. So that was really
yes,
impressive.
yes.
So my
So
podcast is called The Success Show. So I wanted to ask you what your definition of success is. I usually ask this to every guest of mine to get an understanding of what they're thinking about and what their opinion on success is. So can you tell me a bit about what you think and how would you define success?
my success definition is actually quite. I think anyone who can eat well, and has two eyes, one nose, one mouth, and 2 ears, and one brain, one functional brain, and can earn a living out of it is successful. I think so. Everything beyond that, it's something where people think that person is successful. So when I was doing like I was raised by a single mom. For just getting a job was success for me. I was
Yeah,
successful. I got one like getting education, getting a job. That's it. I don't care what the amount is. You know, doing it just on my own by studying on my own and getting a job. Every small
but
thing
once you
is
got
success.
that job, did you want more? Did you want to achieve more? And like, did
Of
your
course,
definition of success
who
change?
doesn't want? So
Yeah.
no, it was already successful at that point. Then it comes to your needs, what you want. Let's say if
Hmm.
you see a car, okay, you got the car, but now you see a Lamborghini, you want the Lamborghini. But till I get a car is successful. That's it.
Hmm.
Everything else is luxury. Everything
Yeah,
else
yeah,
beyond that is luxury. Even if
yeah,
I did a simple calculation like how many people I need, how many followers I need to do a good show,
yeah,
to do a successful show. And I got across a number of
yeah.
40,000. So I was like, I need to get
Okay.
40,000 to achieve these things, to achieve numbers, to achieve good shows, and calculate a year to try. I earn this much around a year. I was happy with that.
Hmm.
I was happy when I got 40,000 followers. Everything above that is a luxury for me. I can now it's up to me how I'm taking advantage of that luxury. Okay, now
And trying to go
the
further.
success. Yeah, now the success changes. The later part of the success is for me is more about achieving for others because
Yeah,
that's why I chose Marathi, right? Like you also know like there are many other options I could do and get better at it
yeah,
faster than what I'm getting at it now. But when I realized that
yeah,
Marathi songs are not played, not allowed, and I know that I can make a change in this. Like I can change every single person who's saying that. I can just change their opinion of about my. So if I know it, if
yeah,
I'm not doing it, then I'm a fool. So let's do it and let's let others achieve something together. So me, I always my aims are the biggest thing. So if someone asks me like, what do I want to do, what are my goals, I have just one goal, which is being the number one DJ in the world. That's my goal. I don't have any other goals.
yeah,
Now doing that is not going to just be an achievement for me, but achievement for all those people who love Marathi music. So it's
yeah,
achieving for others. So it's a goal for everyone. Like I think so because I can make something. I have given that what do you say the art of the skills to do it or the brains to use those skills to do it. So I have to
yeah,
work on that. The rest, I think so. I'm already. I was successful when I got my first job. I was successful when I got 40,000 whatever followers. I was successful when I released my first track already. Everything after that is luxury for me. Because if I just keep on changing the definition of success, then I think so it's more. It will be deviating from what I do. I start doing things which are
yeah,
maybe benefiting me more and less to others. So
yeah.
yeah, that's what. It is.
So a lot of my guests who I've previously spoken to, they've always said that success is doing something you love, and I think you just expanded a bit more on that, saying that success is doing what you love, but there's also it's constantly increasing and constantly growing as well. And for me, I just need the basics to be in place, and as soon as I set go new goals and achieve them, I become successful in that particular part of my life.
Yeah,
So, which is really something great for me to hear. So, thank you so
yeah,
much for sharing that. I
yeah.
also wanted to, ask you about your aspirations for M House, and where do you see the trajectory of and the future of M House?
Yeah, house was made to be very honest, to release my music who's no one releasing. That was the whole purpose
Hmm.
before. But when I see that, okay, many producers asking me that, okay, we also want to be like, we also want to make Marathi music. So I think I want to be a stop or a platform for these people where I can give them the first exposure. Because I think so,
Yeah,
music, getting good in music is justified after access. Once you get
yeah.
access to someone, then you will understand whether it's good or bad. If you have
I
no
think the
access,
opportunities are
that's
extremely important.
yeah. So that opportunity to
Yeah.
give that access, it has to be important because I knew that I used to make. I didn't know I used to do good music about it. But when I got like an Chris Lake to talk about violence, I got like an Afrojack to talk about it. That's where I understood. Okay, yeah, I can do it because the access was open. So
Yeah.
that's what I can do right now. Like I can give the access to so many people. So why not do that? I don't want to sign artists for like 10 years and make them the biggest. I think that's what they would do. That's up to them how they take their career. But if there's a song and idea which is Marathi or Marathi dominant, which means the song is in any language which has a hook or a element in Marathi, you feel free to send it to me and I'll give you a platform. And that's what I want to keep it as. I don't want to make the
Okay.
world's biggest label or this and that
Yeah.
and or his
It's
festival
just
of that. No,
providing an opportunity and platform for
that's
aspiring
it.
producers like yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the biggest inspiration for doing that was Bhadipa for me. Bhadipa is a Marathi content creators channel. It's one of
Okay.
it's the best channel for Marathi creators. And even I was discovered by them first. Like he was the founder of Bhadipa was the first guy. Sarang Sakre was the first guy to share the video on socials
Hmm.
because he supports
Yeah.
everything is what is that is happening in modern Marathi scene. Be it music, be it stand-up comedy, be it web series, be it whatever is modern, he supports it.
Yeah.
So because of him, if a guy like me got access to so many people, because his sharing of one story, that time when no one was listening to me, meant a lot to me and opened up
Yeah. It
many doors
creates a
for me.
huge impact for you. Yeah.
Yeah, like right now it might not feel as good, as big as what is happening to me right now, but that one spark had to be done, and someone should
Hmm.
do it. Now he's not like he's into multiple fields, but I want to be just for the music and more for the urban music. Like even if you go on a
Yeah.
mouse, it says modern Marathi music label. Anything you're doing, any person wants to do, it doesn't matter if they're Marathi or not. If they want to explore
Yeah.
and do something modern in Marathi music, feel free to do it. We try to push you out. We try to market your stuff as much as possible for us or through my channels. And then you feel free to do whatever you want from that fame or access you get later on because of that. That's
Hmm.
what my thing
Yeah.
is. It's also, again, I said, a home for what I want to do, but others who don't want to release. It's a home for that.
Yeah.
That I want to still experiment and do something which doesn't sound like normal stuff. I can do it on M House. So this is how I see M
Yeah.
House ads.
Yeah, I think I really, it's really great to hear the fact that you want to push aspiring artists and, provide them with opportunities. And that's really something that a lot of more people should also be doing, not just in the music industry, but also, for example, for students. I think a lot of people are already, trying to push students or push in other industries. But I think I really, it's really inspiring to, see you do that.
Thank you.
So, lastly, can you give me some advice on, someone who wants to be a DJ or an aspiring music producer like yourself? Just anything brief you can give on some advice for them.
First thing is don't plan stuff. Nothing's going to work. If you plan 100 things in front of you, it's not going to work. Always and always the unplanned things will shine out. And the only way to do unplanned things is to keep doing what you do. And
Yeah.
and don't no matter what people tell you and what, don't get affected by that. Obviously, you can learn
Yeah.
out of it. You just keep doing what you do, and yeah, don't plan stuff. That's what I have done.
Yeah.
Like everything I have not planned as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, obviously do your calculations and then be aware of what decisions you're making. The, the decisions are going to come out from your goals. If you have one goal and you are very sure about that, learn to say no where it is necessary and
Yeah.
guess where it is necessary. Because I see a lot of producers, if they get like a hit or something, they get overwhelmed by the whole thing which is happening by them, and they forget to say no to
Hmm.
people. So yeah, the no thing has to come out, and that is what your goal will tell you automatically. So yeah, don't plan things
Yeah.
and learn to say no.
I think that's really great advice. And I would personally use that for myself for, if I'm
Yeah,
not looking into music, but maybe for example, I would really want to
anything,
do business and entrepreneurship.
anything.
Exactly. So I definitely keep that in mind. And like what I've got from this is don't stop. So I will keep trying to
Yeah,
continue growing this
yeah.
podcast, for
That's
example.
the
And,
other thing. Yeah, don't stop. And
yeah.
me like this
Yeah.
is one quality which I am not ashamed to telling. Like I am persistent in what I do. Because when I was
Hmm.
making music, I was very sure I'm not born for in a music family. So
Yeah.
I'm not a music genius. Then
Yeah.
I'm not rich. I have to figure things
Hmm.
out. So if you know all these things and you know there's the only way out of that is being persistent. Means whatever you
Yeah.
want to do, just work on it every single day, no matter what, without giving excuses at all. If you
Yeah.
do that, you'll be a master and like rule that scene forever after a couple of years,
Hmm.
easily. But it has to be every single
Yeah.
day.
I
So yeah,
completely
that
agree
is
on
it.
that. So before we end this podcast, I wanted to do like a quick rapid fire round with you. I do that with all of my guests. It's something more interactive. So, your favorite international tech house artist right now, if you had to choose one.
Just like,
Oh, I thought so because you mentioned him a lot
just like,
on the podcast. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, one Marathi song you'd love to remix.
Oh, there are many actually, but one which I like
Anyone?
and I have been recently given opportunity to remix it actually is Mallarwari.
Hmm.
And
Okay,
recently on already working on it. I've been given the opportunity by the label to do like an official remix of that song.
that's really great. Uh, Most memorable gig or performance.
My first time house gig, which was in Pune,
Hmm.
and it was like
Yeah.
40 to 50 people, but that's the point where I discovered that I can do something because they were just dancing
Hmm.
Marathi house music, which was impossible to happen, and I didn't believe that that could happen before.
Yeah. One city you would love to perform in next.
With pizza,
That's like the powerhouse of all types of music, especially EDM, dance,
house
techno.
music,
So those beach clubs are, yeah,
pizza is
exactly.
something
Yeah. What's your dream collaboration? Would it be with Chris Lake?
they would get
Oh, okay, that's an interesting one.
because
What's
his
your
song was the first
pre-show
song I
ritual?
heard as a media.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What was your pre-show ritual?
There's no pre-show ritual. Actually, it's very simple. I just wash my
Hmm.
face and I make sure I'm fresh and I'm not
Hmm.
eaten too much. Like I can stand for a while and I just clear my
Yeah,
head. I just keep it very blank. I don't keep any thoughts or any prayers or anything because I've done that already
yeah.
before, like in the morning, meeting my mom
Hmm.
and I think so. Their prayers are with me, so I keep it very clear. Right.
What's your craziest fan encounter?
Oh, craziest. Uh, there are many actually. One which is like craziest, but I felt very emotional seeing that is the first party which I mentioned. There was a guy in
Hmm.
that party and there's a girl in the party who were there just looking at my reels. They just became my fans looking at my reels. Well, I didn't do shows before. They were at that party,
Yeah.
and cut to like 1 year later, they were at a party, not the same place, but in Pune. And then they met me and they said, "You recognize us?" So like, yeah, you were at my first party. Yeah, now we are engaged, and that was the craziest thing I've ever heard. That because of me, someone got engaged. So that was
Yeah,
very
I think that is. I
crazy
don't
and
think I've ever
emotional as
heard
well.
anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, even me
Last.
like
Hmm. Lastly, one word to describe your journey so far.
uh, how would I say, consistent in difficulties. Like you want one word, right?
Hmm.
I think
Yeah.
consistent. Consistent.
Hmm. Yeah. I think that's the end of this podcast. Thank you so much for giving me your time. And I really look
Sure,
forward to staying in touch with you. Thank you so much.
sure,
And all
sure,
the best to
sure.
you and M House.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.